In this video, we'll be looking at this foldable magnetic stand for iPad. This is from a company called Benks. They did send the sample for review, but as always, does not affect our opinion in any way. This specific model is for the iPad Pro 12.9-inch, but they sell it for a bunch of different models, so you should be able to find one that works with your iPad. But we'll just go ahead and get into the box here. So this is just, of course, the box itself. We can go ahead and open it up. First thing we have here is just a user manual. Then it looks like we have the stand itself, probably not much else. Yeah, it looks like it's just the stand itself, so we'll go ahead and open this up here. So here we have the stand. There's some cardboard and such protecting it. We can just kind of pull this off here. And then we're left with just the stand itself. So right off the bat, it has a very nice kind of soft feeling to it. It is made of metal, so it's very solid, very premium feeling. And this part here is pretty soft to protect your iPad. It does have a note about how you should align it, but then overall it is a very solid feeling stand. So this part here kind of rotates and has a nice clicking sound to it. This part here is soft to not scratch up your iPad. And we can go ahead and kind of set it up just by pulling on it a little bit. So a little bit difficult to open, but that is because it is going to be really solid for your iPad. So again, it is really nice that this part rotates here. And then we can go ahead and kind of set it up like this, and you can angle it how you want. You can rotate this piece here like that. You can go ahead and adjust the angle and do all that. So this part rotates like this. This part also rotates here. And this part you can adjust the angle like that. And you can also lift it up and lower it. So very adjustable, very premium feeling. I especially like that it kind of makes this clicking sound when you rotate it. So overall, it feels very, very premium, and that's a super nice first impression for sure. But we'll go ahead and set it up with an iPad and kind of show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is what the stand looks like without any iPad on it. Again, you're able to rotate it and adjust the rotation of this, the angle of this, the angle here, and all that. So you're really able to kind of customize it to have it exactly at the viewing angle you would like to. To go ahead and attach the actual iPad, you want to make sure that it is kind of facing up. So this camera should be face up here. We'll go ahead and rotate it here just to show you. And essentially, you want to just kind of put it in the middle. The magnets do a pretty good job of finding it. You should line up these pieces here at the bottom, but you can kind of go ahead and find out where it will stick. So I think it should be about there. You can see how the camera is. So this is the ideal magnetic position for it. From here, it is very, very secure. We can go ahead and like flip this and shake it and do all that, and it won't come off even with shaking it, just because of how strong those magnets are. It definitely is very secure. We have no problems there. And of course, you are able to rotate it and adjust it and everything with the iPad still attached. So even with that still attached, it does do a really good job of rotating and customizing the viewing angles and all that. The hinges and everything are really solid, so it's able to support the full weight of the iPad while still being fully adjustable. And it is very easy to take on and off, as I showed you. Thankfully, the USB-C port is still exposed, so you're able to even plug in a cable and charge it while it's on this stand. It does also do a nice job of color matching the iPad. As you can see, it's not exactly the same, but it does very similar, so I think it looks very sleek overall. It actually seems almost like an Apple product with how well built it is and how the design looks and everything, with being fully metal and all that. So I think it does look very, very sleek while also being completely functional, so it is a super nice stand overall. The only negative I could kind of think about is that it does not work with a case, unfortunately. You will have to kind of take off your iPad's case in order to use that. The magnets are powerful enough that it actually mounted with my magnetic folio case on, but of course it isn't the ideal connection because it will be a little bit less secure due to the extra thickness of the case. So to make sure it's really fully secure, you do want to actually take off the iPad's case before you mount it. So that is a little bit inconvenient, but if you're going to be using it for many hours at a time, it's not a huge deal. It definitely works well if you're using this as a second monitor or if you're watching a show or something like that on your desk. Then your speakers and your charging port and your buttons and all that are still totally exposed, so you're not losing any of the functionality of your iPad. It's just a very sleek way to use your iPad, and as I said, it actually kind of looks like an Apple product, so it really matches the aesthetic of the iPad. I think it could go really well with most desk setups.